from today onwards, we are going to start with next topic, that is lipoidal degeneration. And the type of lipoidal atherosclerosis is the type of lipoidal degeneration. I'm also going to teach you the atherosclerosis related with this lipoidal degeneration. So while teaching cardiovascular system, I'm not going to repeat this topic again, that is atherosclerosis. Okay. So just I'm revising what is classification of amyloid degeneration. Yes. What is classification of amyloid degeneration? Are you able to hear my voice clearly?
Ma'am,
Yes.
systemic amyloidosis and localized amyloidosis.
Amyloidosis, right. What are the types of systemic amyloidosis?
Primary,
Yeah.
secondary inflammatory.
Primary systemic amyloidosis, generalized primary amyloidosis, generalized secondary amyloidosis, then
Hemodialysis
associated amyloidosis, and
familial.
hereditary-familial amyloidosis. Okay. What is generalized systemic, generalized primary amyloidosis? Yes. What is generalized primary amyloidosis? Yes. What is generalized primary amyloidosis? Yes. Is that very difficult question? Yes. What is generalized primary amyloidosis? What is generalized secondary amyloidosis? I'm not asking you the pathogenesis. I'm just asking you the characteristics of generalized primary amyloidosis.
It involves the connective tissues above the diaphragm,
Yes,
and it
right.
affects the middle age and elderly peoples.
Yes.
And the lesions may affect the heart, tongue, alimentary canal, skin, larynx, and nasal septum.
Yes.
Uh,
Which type of amyloid
and
forms in this?
L type of amyloid.
L type of amyloid get forms. Okay. It also shows the lesions on the skin. Okay. Other
Yes,
than
ma'am.
this all, it shows the regions on the skin also. Then what are the characteristics of generalized secondary amyloidosis?
They are occur as a complications of
Yes.
It is non-inflammatory condition. It associates disease or chronic inflammation.
Chronic inflammatory,
Sometimes
yes.
infections, TB,
Non-infectious inflammatory
yes,
conditions.
yes,
Autoimmune diseases.
autoimmune diseases.
Autoimmune diseases, right? Any other characteristics? This particular amyloidosis, where it is present?
Ma'am, it is organ distribution like kidney, liver, spleen.
Yes, so the organ in the abdominal viscera. Okay. Okay. So the organs, they are in the abdominal cavity. They are mainly shows this type of affection, secondary amyloidosis, generalized secondary amyloidosis. Okay. Okay. Now, today we are going to discuss about this lipoidal degeneration. Okay. So what are the lipids? Any idea? Anybody? Yes. Anybody knows the lipids? Yes, students from the winter batch.
Ma'am, they are fatty acid substance or their derivatives,
Yes,
which
yes.
are soluble in water but insoluble in organic solvent.
Yes, right, right. Okay. So what are the harms this particular lipids does? Any idea? Harmful conditions due to the changes in the constituents of the lipid or changes in the quantity of the lipids. So in lipoidal degeneration, there is an additional important group of pathological changes involving the lipids, that is mainly cholesterol and cholesterol esters. So what is the main cholesterol is? The cholesterol, it is not a true fat, but an alcohol, which is the main constituents of all cells of the body, and which is always remains in the invisible form. So whenever the cell undergoes autolysis or whenever the cell death occurs, the cholesterol is not get destroyed. Okay. So this cholesterol could not get destroyed and it is visible, it remains visible either as a needle-shaped crystals. These crystals, they may found in the caseous tissues or the infarcts or old hemorrhages, then atheroma, generating then this degenerating goiters and dermoid cyst. Okay, so in hemorrhagic clots, in old infarcts, in caseous tissues, in atheroma, in degenerating goiters and dermoid cyst, this particular cholesterols, they can present in a needle shaped crystals, of course after death. Okay, so caseous tissue, what is the caseous necrosis? Whenever caseous, what is the caseous tissues? They are not the normal things. Okay, so it is the part of necrosis that happens to that particular cells. That is cell death occurs. Necrosis is nothing but the cell death. Okay, so in that after this caseous necrosis or caseous tissues, that is the necrosed tissues, then old infarcts, then hemorrhagic clots or hemorrhages, then atheroma, that is the, what is atheroma? It is nothing but the clot form inside the vessel or arteries. So whenever there is a clot forms inside the vessel or arteries, about 80% of blockage it gives. So we called it as atheroma. Then degenerating goiters, dermoid cyst. So in that particular pathological conditions, this crystals of cholesterol can get visualized. Okay, so in the living cells, we could not see this cholesterol, which is in the form of alcohol. Okay, it is not a true fat. Now, the atherosclerosis is nothing but a type of lipoidal degeneration of arteries, okay, which is characterized by deposition of lipids in the intima of great vessels. So atherosclerosis is nothing but a type of lipoidal degeneration. Whenever there is the condition which gives rise to this degeneration of lipids, maybe in the form of cholesterol and their esters, phospholipids, lipoproteins. So all these things, they are the lipids present in the plasma which get characterized by this lipid. They get deposited in the intima of great vessels or the suppliers of the vital organs. Like coronary arteries, suppliers of the heart; cerebral arteries, suppliers of the brain; renal arteries, suppliers of the kidney; splenic artery. So these are the important vessels which are supplying to the vital organs. So this atherosclerotic changes or this lipid deposition, it always we can see in the conditions like atherosclerosis in the intima of the great vessel. There are 3 layers of the vessel. All of you know. What are the names of these 3 vessels, 3 layers? Yes. Tunica intima, tunica media, tunica adventitia. So these lipids, they get deposited in the tunica intima. It may occur in the patches in the arteries which expose to the great strain. So the arteries which get exposed to the great strain, it may occur in the patchy like consistency, patches in the intima. Okay. Now it affects mainly large elastic vessels. Sometimes the small vessels may get involved in this atherosclerotic changes, but it is related with the aging factor. In the senile age group, this atherosclerotic changes we can see in the small vessels also, but mainly it affects the large elastic vessels. Also the small vessels such as coronary, cerebral and renal arteries. Okay. So this is nothing but the lipid which get deposited in the intima of the great vessel. Okay. You can see here there are the macrophages get deposited on the upper layer of this lipid core or plaque. We called it as atherosclerotic plaque. So this middle part we call it as a lipid core. Then we can see here microcalcifications. They get presented as a complication of this degenerative process. Okay, this macrophages, it shows there is an active growth of this particular lipids. There is a thin fibrous cap, you can see brownish layer, which is a cap, fibrous cap get developed on this lipid or plaque, atheromatous plaque. Then we can see here neoangiogenesis, that is new blood vessels get formed. Okay, here you can see the intraplaque hemorrhages in this particular atheromatous plaque, and there is formation of the micro or new vessels, they get formed as it get blocked the artery, the part of this get blocked, and there is neoangiogenesis. You can see the supplies to that particular plaque, atheromatous plaque. So this is, you can see the lumen. So here there is 40% this lumen get blocked because of this plaque, hemorrhagic plaque, lipoidal plaque or atheromatous plaque. So it get extend inside the intima up till to the tunica media also. How the process of this particular plaque formation we are going to discuss in pathogenesis of this lipoidal degeneration. So here you can see the little idea of this lipid deposition, or we can see it as atheromatous plaque. Here also the second figure, next figure, you can see here the normal human artery. Here the lumen is, there is nothing inside the lumen. You can see with free flowing blood. Okay, now you can see here the layers, smooth muscle layer. Then this is the endothelium, you can see with no changes, very normal in the structure. Okay, so this is the normal human artery, and here you can see the artery narrowed by atherosclerotic plaque. So here you can see this much of this plaque get formed inside the intima with fibrous cap, then lipid calcium cellular debris. You can see here macrophages, they get transferred into foam cell. How they get transferred into foam cell, we are going to discuss in pathogenesis. Now these are the smooth muscle cell. See, there is a total widening of this particular layer with distort mechanism of this particular normal architecture of the tunica intima. Here you can see the damaged endothelium. Here the endothelium it get damaged. So here you can see this part as a atherosclerotic plaque. Okay. Now, types of atherosclerosis. There are two types of atherosclerosis, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is yellow plugs in the tunica intima, which we can see in all age group. Second, that is type 2 atherosclerosis. There is accumulation of fatty material in the intima of vessels, which is additional to fibrosis. Just we discussed about this fibrous cap. It is associated with fibrosis. Okay, so this fibrosis, it makes that particular atheromatous plaque more tough. Okay, accumulation of the fatty material in the intima of the vessel, additional to fibrosis, and it is mainly seen in old age group. So there are two types of this atherosclerosis, type 1 and type 2. Okay, so type 1, it is associated with yellow plugs. You can we have discussed about this particular slide. Here, this is yellow plug. Okay, so this yellow plugs in the tunica of intima, and we can see this in all age group. Again, whenever it happens in the young age group, these deposits of lipids, it is very abnormal thing, and it is associated with some other pathological disorders like diabetes mellitus, hypothyroidism. Okay, so commonly it is found in the old age group, but in old age group it is associated with fibrosis. Okay, it is associated with fibrosis in the old age group. Fibrosis, it is much more tough. So type 1 atherosclerosis and type 2 atherosclerosis. Now here you can see in this figure atherosclerosis development and progression. So here in the lumen, this is the lumen. Okay, this is the lumen in which the lipoproteins they travel, then RBCs they travel, platelet, monocytes. Okay, so here you can see there is something happens to the endothelium. Okay, here the endothelium get damaged. So whenever any damage occur to the endothelium or any site in the body, the first body's response is there is increased blood flow, there is increase the flow of WBCs, then RBCs. So with WBCs, this lipoproteins also enters inside that particular atheromatous plaque. Okay, that what is the pathogenesis that we will discuss later on. So here platelet, then this RBCs, platelets, all these things, they gather over there, and they try to repair that particular site. But while repairing that site, there is formation, aggregation of all these cells, platelet, fibroblast, this WBCs, RBCs, they gather over here for the repair purpose, and there is formation of a clot, there is formation of a plaque here. Okay, so that plaque, we call it as a thrombus. This is a thrombus, and it happens whenever there is injury to the endothelium. Okay, so here you can see the aggregation of all the cells, and here tough material get formed, and it obstruct the blood flow. Okay, and whenever it gets surrounded with the foam cells, we can call it as a atherosclerosis. Before atherosclerosis, we can say that it is a thrombus. Whenever this foam cells, that is the transferred monocytes, they get covered or they permeate on this thrombus, and there is pigmentation of this foam cells on this thrombus, we call it as a atheromatous plaque. Okay, so always this atheromatous plaque, it traveled in the direction of the blood flow. So here it may get progress. Okay, this atheromatous plaque or thrombus, it may get progress, and it may block the vessel 80 to 90% also. So whenever the vessel get blocked, the forward portion, that is where the supply, this blood vessel supplies to the organ, here that part, it shows the ischemia or infarction. Okay. Now, etiology of atherosclerosis. It is related to age. So, what is the normal age group of atherosclerosis? Yes. What is the normal age group of atherosclerosis? It is commonly seen above 40 years of age. This atherosclerosis, we can see above 40 years of age. So the elastic fibers of media, they get damaged by the aging process. The elastic fibers of the tunica media, they get damaged by the aging process and loses their elasticity and leads to degeneration of intima. Okay, so here, due to loss of the elasticity, what will going to happen? This vessel wall could not resist the pressure, and if the pressure increases, then that there are cracks develops in the tunica intima. So the endothelium may get damaged here. And whenever the damage occurs, I told you that there is a repair process starts, and as the process, part of this repair process, thrombus get formed, and later on it get converted into atheromatous plaque. Okay, so such degenerative changes of the vessels, they always happens in the they are common in the senile age group, that is old age group. But sometimes this particular degenerative changes may happen in the young age group during the infections like rheumatic fever, then diabetes mellitus, then hypothyroidism. Okay, so this is about the age group, common in the old age group, but may appear in the young ones associated with some pathological conditions like rheumatic fever, diabetic mellitus, and hypothyroidism. Now, hereditary, it plays very, very important role in the process of atherosclerosis. So what are the hereditary factors? The hereditary factors, they are the hyperlipidemia, then hypertension, or this hereditary also plays important role in the diseases like diabetes mellitus. So if that person is having hyperlipidemia or hypertension, then the damage of artery appears very fast. Okay, so hereditary is an important part of atherosclerosis, important role of hereditary in the atherosclerosis. Then the dietary habits. So which diet is harmful? Yes. A diet which is rich in the cholesterol is responsible for atherosclerotic changes. And these atherosclerotic changes, they are often more in the obese person. Okay. So this atherosclerotic changes. So dietary habits are also very, very important. So the person should take low cholesterol and high fiber diet. Okay, so instead of, if the diet is wrong, diet high in cholesterol or carbohydrates, which are responsible for this atherosclerotic changes, and always common with the obese persons. Okay, then the next part is etiological factor is hypertension. So injury to the arterial wall due to increased blood pressure. Just I have told you that whenever there is injury occurs to the arterial wall, it will, if the person is hypertensive, then it shows some changes in the tunica intima. The hypertension and atherosclerosis, these both things are common in the same age period. Okay, the atheromatous changes, they are also seen in the pulmonary artery in state of pulmonary hypertension. Okay, which is associated with cor pulmonale. What is cor pulmonale? Right heart failure. Okay, right heart failure. So associated with the pulmonary conditions, pulmonary causes. So here this hypertension, it plays important role in the atherosclerosis. Okay. Then the cigarette smoking, it is also injurious to the health, more injurious than alcohol. The cigarette smoking is more injurious than the alcohol, which causes this toxins get absorbed in the intima. Which is the toxin present in this this tobacco? Yes. 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 Nicotine.
Nicotine.
So, yes. So this nicotine, it causes, whenever it get absorbed, it causes degenerative changes in the intima and the injury to the endothelium occurs. So here the cigarette smoking is also very, very injurious to the health and causes or that person will get landed into the atherosclerotic changes. Again, it is not depending upon the age. If the young age group is involved in the smoking, then they also shows the atherosclerotic changes in the early age, okay, in the early period. So hypertension, cigarette smoking, they are the again causes or induces the atherosclerotic changes. Then the diseases like hyperthyroidism, then infections, inflammations, then injuries to the vessels, diabetes. So all these things, they causes injury to the this particular intima of the vessels. This diseases, hyperthyroidism and diabetes mellitus, they induces hypercholesteremia or hyperlipidemia. Okay, so any one of you knows the lipids? What are the lipids? Name of the lipids present in your body, in the plasma? Yes, what are the names of the lipids? LDL, that is low density lipoproteins. HDL, that is high density lipoproteins, and VLDL, that is very low density lipoproteins. Okay. So whenever there is hyperlipidemia or hypercholesteremia, that induces the atherosclerotic changes very, very early. So whenever the levels of LDL increases, what is the role of LDL? Anyone of you knows? Yes, what is the role of LDL? The role of LDL, that is low density lipoprotein, is a vehicle for delivery of cholesterol towards the peripheral tissues. So this cholesterol, it get accumulated or it get traveled to the peripheral tissue is the role of this low density lipoprotein. What is the role of high density lipoproteins? The role of high density lipoprotein is mobilize the cholesterol from the developing atheromas, that is plugs, towards the liver for excretion through the bile. Okay, that is the role of HDL. So which one is helpful and which one is harmful? Yes?
HDL is helpful
HDL is?
and
HDL is helpful.
helpful.
Yes, HDL is helpful and LDL is harmful because it stores the cholesterol in the peripheral tissues, which may prove harmful. But this HDL, the role is to mobilize the cholesterol from the developing atheromas and it get carried towards liver for excretion through the bile. Okay, so the genetic or familial predisposition to the atherosclerosis, it may be the root cause is hyperlipidemia or hypercholesteremia. So this may causes this particular vessels to get damaged early. Okay, if the this hyperlipidemia or hypercholesteremia, they are there in your blood, that is if there is genetic factor or if there is hereditary factor, then this may causes early damage to the intima. Okay, so diabetes mellitus and hypothyroidism, these are the two diseases which induces hypercholesteremia. Okay, then this last factor, etiological factor is hyperhomocystinemia. Hyperhomocystinemia. You might have heard this word before in conditions of this myocardial infarction or in the heart diseases. So what is this hyperhomocystinemia? It is caused due to low folate and vitamin B12 intake, okay, or vitamin B intake, any form of vitamin B. Okay, so this may leads to congestion of the vessels or the atherosclerotic plug. It induces the formation of atherosclerotic plugs due to low levels of folate and vitamin B intake. Okay, so hyperhomocystinemia is again the cause for this atherosclerosis, atheromatous plug. And various infections, inflammations, that is local injury to the vessel wall due to inflammation also induces the atherosclerosis. Okay, just I'm going to close this meeting and we will meet in few minutes, few seconds. Okay. You can join again with the same link. Okay.